played a game against Stoke at 15, and then I was getting ready to go to college, and then all of a sudden they've offered me a 2-year deal. I had to pack my bags and move to Birmingham.
Joss Labadie, who is a professional footballer and protection advisor. What does your routine look like now? You're playing football, but you're moving from professional to semi-professional?
Recently gone into part-time football and signed with Hensford Town. I'm a protection advisor, specialising in life insurance, critical illness, income protection, key man business insurance. So I've got a diary I put from as little as like wake up and do this, have a face bowl or whatever, breakfast, be to the gym for 9 o'clock. That way you do your most important things of the day, prioritise them.
So in your scenario, you've got, let's say, 10 properties. If you're not there, have you put someone in charge of a trust to run those properties so they keep operating? Or will you liquidate those assets?
I've got clients that range from Premier League to step 4, step 5. When you do a life protection policy, more often than not, I would always recommend doing a trust form, which obviously identifies the beneficiaries, trustees, where the money goes to, if anything was to happen.
Welcome back to the podcast, guys. We are back with another episode of Founder Stories. As always, we are bringing you real life, relatable, I would say inspirational and action-taking episodes. So for you in your small to medium business, it's not just listen and then think, where did that last hour and a half gone? But, you know, I've got 5 or 6 golden nuggets that I can take back into my business and improve. So that's what we're all about here. This episode is no different. I've got Joss Labadie, who is a professional footballer and protection advisor. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but we'll get into it in the episode. It's probably one of the most overlooked areas as far as entrepreneurs not thinking that they need this in their business. So stay tuned. Thanks for coming down. Welcome to the podcast.
Cheers.
You haven't come too far.
No, just down the road. I've actually been to the gym, just not far from you, the Cranmore Solihull.
Saw you in there yesterday, actually, having a meeting, and that might have been to do with protection advice. So
yeah, it would have been,
potentially.
That's my office.
How we met is an interesting one, because I take my kids to the best barbers in the Midlands, I would say.
Yeah,
New Era. Shout out New Era, who cut a lot of footballers' hair. So my kids are aspiring footballers. So they dragged me down there, but that's how we got chatting, right?
Yeah, no, I think it was one Friday evening, wasn't it? A couple of months back. Just had a general chat, lots in common. Your boys were in there as well. We were talking all things football, weren't we?
Yeah, and just getting onto business as you do. For those of you that are watching or listening and don't know who Joss is, give them a bit of background. What are you doing now? And then we'll sort of reverse back. With regards to football, and what are you doing outside of football?
Yeah, so I'm Joss Labadie. I'm a professional footballer and have been for the last 20 years. Recently gone into part-time football and signed with Hensford Town. I'm a protection advisor, specialising in life insurance, critical illness, income protection, key man business insurance, and I have a property portfolio as well. And that's me.
Happy days. Why did you, or how? I was just thinking this morning of questions, and most businesses, at least the ones that are successful, I think this is a Richard Branson quote, are born about by solving a problem that you have or identifying an issue that maybe close friends or family have. How did you get into the world of protection and protection advice for individuals or business owners? Is it related to footballers and what you did, or is it something else? Like, how did that come about?
Yes, that is an ex-teammate of mine, Marlon Jackson, who I played with at Newport County. And he come and met me at my house maybe just over 3 years ago to do my protection stuff, because my stuff was outdated, and as I've got more housing in my portfolio, I needed more cover. Okay. So he come down and he said, I think you'll be really good at it. And I said, but yeah, what about football, etc.? Because obviously I think I was 30 at the time. And he said, yeah, no, you can do it part-time, and then as you come to the end, you can transition out and then do it full-time. So I've done all the exams that I needed to do, met the owner of the business at True Life Financial, and something I've become really passionate about, protecting not only footballers and covering the injury insurance, but just whatever they need, their general insurance for their families, their work and all stuff like that. And it's something I really enjoy, and it's an important subject as well, which, like you said, a lot of people overlook.
Definitely, especially because sometimes not all the insurances require kind of morbid type conversations, but the reality is if you're like, I'm responsible for Caleb and Jackson, and so sometimes you need someone to come along and say, you don't have this, or do you have it? No, I don't. Why are you not putting aside, which doesn't have to be a big amount, and it will benefit you in a lot of ways? Just to backtrack a little bit, why did you need protection? Because you've got a house portfolio. How does that help you in that situation?
Well, because I've got a few properties in my portfolio which have mortgages on.
Yeah.
So if anything was to happen to me, they would go back to the bank unless they could be fulfilled. So that would just give my family um, the money that they need to pay off their mortgages, and it'll just give them a little bit of a buffer, peace of mind. Yeah, it just makes it a bit more comfortable. But it's important.
Okay, so if anything happens to you and you're not there, touch wood, that doesn't happen, that policy pays off the mortgages on the properties that you're invested in, or hands them over to someone else to manage them so that your family can keep having an income?
Yeah, so obviously when you do a life protection policy,
Yeah.
more often than not, I would always recommend doing a trust form, which obviously identifies the beneficiaries, trustees, where the money goes to.
Yeah.
If anything was to happen, they would be able to be in charge of that money to then pay off the mortgages.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is an important subject.
So in your scenario, sorry for me digging and digging and digging, it's for my own interest. And that's why I want to have guests on the podcast, because really I want to learn about these things. So in your scenario, you've got, let's say, 10 properties. If you're not there, have you put someone in charge of a trust to run those properties so they keep operating? Or will you liquidate those assets?
Yeah, so all mine are managed, but it just it'll give the lump sum to then pay off those mortgages.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
Obviously my company, because all my properties are in a limited company.
Yeah.
My kids could then become directors, and then they haven't got the stress, because obviously they're not earning at the moment because they're only children.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be comfortably managed.
And for business owners, for me, what kind of protection would you recommend that people start with? Because I'll tell you, a funny story. Well, it's probably not that funny because it shows my own ineptitude. But I got advice 14 years ago when I set the business up from an independent financial advisor in London at that time to set up 3 different policies. I have not spoken to that advisor now for the last 10 years, so I need probably you to help me and go and review what those policies are. But I know I'm paying for them, and I know I've got 3, and I know how much they are, and I know who they're with. Standard Life or someone, Scottish Widows or something. But I don't know what they're for. Right. And I don't know why they were set up, and I don't know if they're still relevant. Yeah. My understanding from my brief memory was, one is if something happens to me, the mortgage is paid off. The second one is an income, I think it's 100k a year, gets paid to Kieran in lieu of the payments that she would receive as dividends. Yeah. And the third one is if something happens to her, I get 40k a year to pay for full-time nanny / maid.
So that sounds like that'd be a family income benefit.
Okay.
As opposed to an income protection.
Right.
An income protection is a policy that, say if you got injured or sick, signed off from the doctor, you would then be given a monthly amount to live off if you wasn't able to earn.
Okay.
Being a director might be a bit different, but for the self-employed people, say like your handymen or the construction workers, where they're solely reliant on that.
Work.
Yeah, that's how that one would work.
And that's called what?
That's an income protection benefit.
Okay, so they need income protection. For me, if I don't work, I can still run the business. It will still do fine without me. But in an ideal world, someone would come in as a CEO to replace what I do, and they would need paying. Yeah. So what kind of insurances would you recommend for someone like me? Let's say someone has a business, turns over roughly £2 million, makes £1 million profit. These are not my numbers, but ballpark, let's use it as an example. You're the CEO founder, so you're working, but mainly on sales and marketing, filming podcasts, things like that. You're not directly doing client work. Yeah. But if you're not there, the marketing, the content, all that side would stop. So you do need a CEO probably to come in.
100%.
And so let's look at the scenario where I can't work. What would you recommend as protection for that?
So in that circumstance there, I'd recommend a key man insurance policy.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of that, but that will just...
It rings a bell, yeah.
So that's for business owners, directors.
Yeah.
where it'll pay a lump sum where someone could then come into the company
Yeah.
to run it while
Okay.
you're off sick.
Okay, so then you just need to understand what's a market rate, and presumably you should be looking at these things every year to update. If the market salary for that person's gone up, you might need to increase your cover.
100%, yeah. So people's circumstances might change.
Yeah.
You might be turning over more revenue, so obviously more money. So yeah, it's always something you need to keep on top of.
So for your clients, which this advisor didn't do a very good job of, obviously, you would touch back with them and stay in touch with them and make sure you're having like a yearly meeting or whatever it is.
Yeah, we at True Life we do annual reviews, so
Okay.
we always check in, make sure people's circumstances are the same, and if the policy that we've provided them is still suitable to their needs.
Is that chargeable? Do you charge for that?
No,
review?
that's so all my clients I have a really good relationship with. I always touch base with them, and I always tell them that I'm always accessible. So if you've got any problems, any queries,
Yeah.
you can always come back to me and ask if there's anything you're unsure about.
And can you pick up policies like with me where I've got 3 amounts going through and I'm pretty confident it will help if there's an issue with me or Kieran, but I would like it updated? Can you pick up from payments to a bank statement if no one's got any details with the insurer, find out what the policies are and then take it from there? Or does the business owner themselves need to do something?
Yeah. So do you mean can the advisor do that for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the advisor would have the policy number.
Okay.
He should have sent you out a suitability report when he provided you with the policy.
Originally, yeah.
So like a lot of clients of mine are footballers, so they've got the injury cover.
Yeah.
So they contact me if they got an injury. I'll then take their policy number, go to the provider and say, my client needs to make a claim,
Okay.
and I'll take care of that for them.
Yeah.
The client can do it, but I like to add the extra touch.
Okay. So one of the key things I'm seeing that might be different about where you are is, one, you're dialed in on that section individually rather than an IFA. Maybe it's just a small part of their overall business that they're not necessarily geared up in the way that you are. Yeah. Annual reviews, people maybe get forgotten about if it's just a general IFA. I'm not saying this is the case with all IFAs, but generally speaking, if you hire a specialist, they're better than a generalist, right?
Yeah, definitely.
For each individual thing.
I think a lot of advisors, they just tend to do the policy, they have their commission, and then they're on to the next. Whereas I like to maintain a long-lasting relationship because I feel like that touch goes the extra mile.
Does it help you what you've done in playing football and having that risk of injury and having the property portfolio and having the risk of interest rates swinging or something happen to you and so on and so forth, that personal experience? Because I think I spoke about this yesterday on the podcast. My difference at Grow Factor, the USP really for us as an accountancy firm, is that I've built my business from zero to multi-seven figure. So I understand what my clients are going through.
Yeah.
Whereas it seems to me, rather than you just being someone in a business team of whatever, 100, and all you're really concerned with is sales figures and commissions and bonuses, your primary concern is making sure the risk is mitigated from your client, from personal experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got clients that range from Premier League to step 4, step 5.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think I'm relatable to all of them because obviously I've invested along the way. I've played well. I'm now in step 3 as well. So even the injury insurance, where you might get $6,000 for a ACL, might not be relevant for a Premier League footballer because that's nothing to them.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that
having that specific niche understanding makes a
big
difference.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that where you're going to go with the business in terms of your goals and growing as you transition from playing less to doing this more as a full-time role? Will you target athletes as your industry niche?
I think that is the conception that that I'm just doing footballers, whereas I do everyone. I do families.
Okay.
I do your normal working man who's a construction worker.
Yeah.
So absolutely everyone. I've done business owners with big companies. But yeah, absolutely anyone. I think anyone can be provided with a policy that's sufficient to them.
Yeah, it's a bit like us. Like I believe every business owner should have good quality financials and minimize their taxes. We love working with certain industries, but doesn't mean we won't work with everyone to a certain degree.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't really like working with builders because there's just too much complexity and they don't want to pay for it, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But other than construction industry, will work with any client. And you do get some good construction industry client, but generally it's just very messy, right? A service business for us is cleaner and easier to spend time giving advice rather than doing bookkeeping from an accountancy perspective. Are there any people in your sort of journey that you wouldn't want to work with?
No, there's not any particular people that I wouldn't want to work with. I think everyone needs insurance, don't they? Whether it's for the family, if you've got a mortgage, if you've got kids, if you've got a job. So everyone needs it, and I'm happy to provide my services to anyone that does.
What about the way that they treat you, though? Like, I had a perception of footballers before I moved to the Midlands, and then two of them ended up being my neighbours for a long time, Premier League footballers. And then in your daily day-to-day, it seems like you meet and bump into footballers all the time, especially at the gym that we go to and so on. And I've never actually met a footballer who is arrogant and not nice. They're all so down to earth, actually the opposite of your perception if you haven't met a high-level footballer before. But there must be some people that you've spoken to that you don't want to work with because they're right. Like, we have a no dickhead policy at Growth Factor. Like, if you're a dickhead, we're not going to take your money, even if you're minted.
I think that's the hard thing in business. You've got to be polite at all times, and even if someone's rude to you, you have to just smile and still speak in a tone that's.
Do you have to, though?
I tend to, even though I'll get on the phone to one of my colleagues and say, I've just had this so-and-so, blah, blah. And I've had to smile
afterwards.
Yeah. But I think some people forget that you're actually providing them with a service and doing them a favour.
Yeah.
Whereas the other way around, I think some people got big egos. They might have a property portfolio, or I don't know, you might give them a quote that's more than what they've had, so they think they can speak to you in a certain way. But it's just part and parcel of business.
Well,
and
they just haven't had those manners instilled in you. I found I was at my kids' school. They go to a private school. And one of the biggest things I think could be a detriment to them is the influence of some of their friends and how they treat other people. Like, I caught I won't name him, but I caught one of their mates when he thought no one was looking, saying to one of the, I guess you'd call her a dinner lady, but like a very sort of posh dinner lady. He said something like, "Give me one of those," because they were handing out
to the dinner lady.
Yeah, wow. Like bacon rolls after the hockey game and stuff. And his mum was stood right next to him and she said nothing to him. And I said, I won't say his name, don't talk to her like that. Just because you think no one's listening, you're not better than her. Yeah. She's providing you with food and nutrition after you've played a game. Everyone should be treated with respect. Like, he went bright red, to be fair. He knew he shouldn't have spoken to her like that, but he thought he could get away with it.
I think you're a product of your environment, though, aren't you? And I feel that.
Yeah, if your parents let you get away with it.
Exactly.
And it's easy to fall into habits like Caleb yesterday. His teacher said bye to him and he just ignored her. So I didn't let him in the car and said, say bye to your teacher nicely in front of all of his mates. He's looking at me like, why are you embarrassing me? Obviously, he didn't do it because he doesn't want to seem like uncool in front of his mates, but I want my kids to come up and be good people, regardless of how financially successful they are. Yeah. And that's always nice. It's nice when you meet, I won't name them, but like, I had a neighbour here who played for Villa and then another one who played for Villa after. And they'd always stop and talk to the boys at Christmas. They came over and gave them a Christmas present and they're just super nice. Yeah. Now we've got some random people in there and my kids are really angry that it's not a Villa footballer anymore. Yeah. So, okay, for me, you're looking at key man. Are there any other insurances that you would recommend for me as a business owner, being that I've got 2 kids that I support, I've got school fees, I've got my wife who ideally wouldn't have to go back to work?
Yeah, so when I'm assessing a client's needs, I'd always make sure the mortgage is fulfilled. Should anything happen, I'd always make sure there's a critical illness on there.
Okay.
Critical illness is basically cancer, stroke, cardiac. There's a long list of illnesses on there. Yeah. Just in case you was to get something like that, you would get a payout while you're still alive.
Right. Okay. And is that on top of illness? I mean, insurance for life.
Yeah. So life is basically if you die. Critical illness is your cancer.
Okay.
Strokes and all
so
stuff
you've
like
got
that.
key man that covers you, someone else to come in and work in my position. Then you've got critical illness, which will pay out earlier than life.
Yes.
If you've claimed on critical illness, can you effectively claim again on life? Or is it you'd have a smaller life policy because you've already had a critical illness payout?
So I'll do them separate. So what I'll do, I'd have a life cover separate. So that's always there.
Yeah.
And then when I do a critical illness policy, there's an option to do it life and kick, which is critical illness.
Okay.
So it's whatever happens of the two.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're related, right? If you pull it in early because you've got critical illness, it lowers the life, so balances out.
To have a critical on its own, to have a life and critical, it's like an extra £1 when I'm doing it on the portal. So I'd always do that. Sometimes people don't want to take that out. Yeah. Because they might have a budget or something. It might be £1 over, but I'd always do that. So you get a little bit more on your life, and you've always got that critical there as well.
Okay. What about if something happens to Kieran? Because she basically does everything with the kids. Someone asked me yesterday who I took them for a trial at an MJPL team. We're speaking about this before the podcast. And he said, oh, my kids go to... no, actually, this was in the gym in the change room. We just got talking randomly. And he said, my kids go to Solihull Prep School as well. What year are they in? And I'm looking at him like, I have no idea what year my kids are in. Not a clue. Yeah. I don't know what homework they do. This makes me sound really bad, but we agreed, and it's not in a sexist way or anything like that. It's like a job role, right?
Yeah.
Being a mum, full-time looking after the kids, a lot harder than being a dentist, is what she previously did, or what I do. But she's taken on that responsibility, and I'm okay with that. If I'm asked to do something, I'll do it, but I don't know what year they're in. So I don't know what point I was making there, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. What were we talking about?
I don't know. But I know exactly what you're saying. I'm the same. I only know Delilah's in year 6 because she's going up to, it's not called secondary school up here, is it?
Oh, it is called secondary
high school or something? I don't know what Midlanders call it.
How old are your kids?
So Delilah, my eldest, is going to be 11 on Saturday.
Okay.
And then my little boy Roman's going to be 10 in July. And then my youngest Ezra is going to be 8 next month.
Oh, you got 3. All close as well.
All close. Didn't mess about. Had no TV in my
2 boys and a girl.
2 boys and a girl, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. And that's what you do it for, right? So, okay, that was my point. Yeah. So if something happens to Kieran, I don't know what's going on. Oh, I found my point again. I don't know what's going on with the kids. I need someone to help me. I need someone to get them ready in the morning for school. I need someone to pick them up from school because I do the drop off. She does the pickup. You know, where am I going to get the money for a full-time nanny? Yeah. What cover can I put in place for that?
That'd be a critical illness again.
Okay.
It'd be a life. For her. Yeah, so life and critical illness.
Yeah.
So if anything happened and she was ill or she couldn't work, or worst case scenario, you get a payout to then get a nanny to do all the things that Kieran would do.
Yeah.
And then that'd let you to carry on doing your work stuff and have your work commitments.
Yeah, and this is so important, guys. Like, I only got this because I was in an office with an IFA who was good, obviously not good at following up, but good at telling me, you need to do this. It's not a question of thinking about the expense. You have to have it. Soon as you get someone that's dependent on you, you have to have this in place. Otherwise, in my opinion, you're pretty selfish because you could be leaving them in a situation where they're screwed. Yeah. And you could have paid a couple of £100 a month. Well, we can get into an example, actually. I didn't think we were going to do it like this, but it's actually, I think, really interesting and really useful for people to understand, like me as an example, and scale it up and scale it down so they can understand the kind of things that they should have in place. Yeah. How much is that likely to cost, all of that? There's like 5.
It all depends.
So if I want £1 million, just ballpark, right? If I want £1 million of mortgage cover, if I want 50 grand for a nanny, see if you can do it without the portal and without your laptop.
It'd be tough because it's dependent on age. So
okay.
The younger you are,
how old I am.
The younger you are when you put a policy in place, the cheaper it generally be.
Oh, so mine, because it's already been in.
Yeah,
I've probably locked in cheaper rates.
Yes, but life insurance is quite cheap. When you start getting over to the critical illness, because that's more likely to happen.
Yeah,
that tends to be a lot more expensive. But for example, so I do a lot of boys' injury covers in the lower leagues. So say someone's 21, for example. I've done a 21-year-old's a couple of months back, and he had 20 grand critical illness and the injury cover. Yeah. So he's got the 20 grand critical. And then I've done a friend's mum. Well, she's 67. Yeah. And she only wanted 10 grand funeral expenses.
Okay.
So my friend's mum's policy come out to like £50 a month
Yeah.
for 10 grand.
Yeah.
The boy that I was doing who plays lower leagues had 20 grand
Yeah.
and he was paying, I think, £17 a month plus the injury.
Okay.
So that's the difference there.
Yeah. So I think I took mine out when I was probably 26, 27.
Yeah.
I'm paying about 200, 250 all in. And I know I've got £1 million. It's either critical illness or life to pay off the mortgage. I've got 40 grand to pay for a nanny, and I've got 100 grand the other way to pay for someone to work in the business.
Okay.
No, that's income for Kieran, actually.
Sometimes I can't beat the quotes. Sometimes I can't. But say if their circumstances have changed.
But you could keep my policies, right?
Keep
You could
your
just
policies
take them
and
over.
Keep your policy. Say if I couldn't beat it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't just replace it to have the commission or whatever. I would say I'd recommend you keep it.
Yeah.
And then maybe just do a top up, whether you've
So you
got
stay
a bigger
with the same
mortgage or
provider,
you've bought another buy to let.
Yeah. And can you put yourself as, when you take these policies out, does the insurance provider have a contact detail for the person that sold it? Was the advisor? Yeah. Or is it all just direct with the client?
No, direct. So
for my circumstance, if I wanted to, you could take over my 3 policies, advise if they need upgrading and so on and so forth. If you couldn't beat the cost by moving to a different supplier.
I couldn't take over, but what I could do is I could do a review. Okay. So for anyone, for people that have got policies in place and they're not sure what they've got, I would review them and then advise them. Okay. If I couldn't beat the price or get them something better, I still
stays in the original advisor's name.
Stay with the original advisor.
Yeah.
But then I could do a top up based on the suitability.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. We'll have to do that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I think probably 9 out of 10 people listening to this or watching don't have this in place. Are there any other types of cover that business owners should consider?
So with the key man as well, which we didn't touch on, say if there's 2 directors in the company.
Yeah, which there are. And this is actually, all right, carry on. Because this is what I wanted to talk about, but I forgot.
Yeah, so if there's 2 directors in the company, there could be amounts set up so the other could get paid out, if you know what I mean. So there's not all the legal battle about, I'm owed this much, or this is being valued at this much, so this is what we owe. You can have it set in stone. So then that family can then buy out their share, the other person's share, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. So I've got a scenario where ideally I'd want someone to come in and run the business, my business partner who's got equity, to maybe have more equity because they take on more responsibility, and I'm fine with that because I'm gone in this scenario. But for my wife to be able to keep getting a minimum dividend level and that business to continue to grow. And something in the agreement that says, if my business partner decides they don't want to do this anymore and the business is sold, the payouts go out in this order in line with the equity. Yeah. Do you get involved in that, which is effectively like setting up a will and a trust, or do you refer to one of your trusted sort of solicitors to do that stuff?
Yes, I think that's more the solicitor side. So the key man that I do would be, like I said, the lump sum that will pay for the percentage of the family.
Got it.
Of the person that's passed away.
And do you work alongside the solicitor? As in, they might draft their bit first to make sure that you're both on the same page?
They can do, to make sure it's right and it's correct and all boxes are ticked.
Yeah.
But yes, something that we can definitely look at.
Yeah, because that was a bit that I never ended up doing because it was so time consuming. And I think a lot of people like me will just stop. Yeah. And that's wrong. I'm going to go back to that, guys. Like, I know it's been on my list and it keeps getting flagged, and now it's triple flagged. Just because, like, my dad had a heart attack at, I think, 56, not like late 50s, something like that. And I've just ordered the new Whoop with have you seen the new MG Whoop?
No, what's the difference between that?
So the normal Whoop is great, but it doesn't do blood pressure. This one does blood pressure, ECG, heart rhythm, likelihood of like having a heart attack, basically. It does a full health screening every morning.
Wow.
Because I've got a blood pressure cuff and I am supposed to take my blood pressure every week when I was doing bodybuilding, but you just get out the habit of doing it.
It's easily done, isn't it?
Yeah. And then so you could have spiraling blood pressure, even though you look good and not.
You
Because
haven't got
my
a clue.
dad had a heart attack in the gym.
Did he really?
So this is a story actually that's quite relevant. And then we can move on to a bit more of your story, right? Because we've been through cover, what people need, but this is just to reinforce without scaring everyone or don't stop listening. I just thought it was quite a funny story. Like, I don't talk to my dad that much. And I thought, okay, I read this book called Tuesdays with Maury. Really good book if you haven't read it. And it's just about, you don't get a lot of time. As soon as you leave home, there's another book, I can't find it, but it tells you the amount of time that you spend at home with your parents. And then as soon as you leave home, there's a tiny amount of time that you actually spend time with them. So when you should make the most of it, but also you have to make an effort. If they're not like the parents that are on you to come round all the time, which mine aren't, they could just say nothing for a month. It's just the way they are. Then I have to be on them to spend time. So anyway, I invited my dad out for dinner, and he was telling me the story of when he had a heart attack. He was in the gym on the running machine, super fit, doing like his normal 10K, started to feel like a little bit of tightness. So instead of going to get help, he goes, do you know what? I just won't run today. I'll just do weights. So started squatting instead. Starts doing weights, yeah. Absolute nut job. He eats healthy, does all the right things, but he never taken his blood pressure or never taken his vitals or never done a blood test or any of the stuff that we do now, right? And is accessible to us. I guess it wasn't accessible then. You can get a blood test now for 60 quid that tests everything. Give you an indication of how healthy you are, right? And you can get a blood pressure cuff off Amazon for like, I don't know, £20. So he goes home and then it just starts getting worse and worse. And then he's joking to my mum, I think I could be having a heart attack now. And she's like, oh, don't be silly. And it just got worse and worse. She phoned the ambulance. They came. He's like, he's having a heart attack. Super fit, not overweight.
Scary, isn't it?
Doesn't smoke. He drinks, old school, to relax, daily basis. So that's what I'm trying to get him off now, the alcohol.
It's hard though, isn't it?
For him, yeah. I don't find it hard because I just don't want the hangover.
Getting too old, aren't we? That's why.
I was talking to our mate who's the owner of New Era in the gym as well, and he was saying the same thing. I think it's habitual, isn't it? If you go to the pub or wherever and you associate drinking with socialization and your mates, and it's a habit.
Yeah,
that's so hard to break. I used to have 3 pints before a Villa game because it was a routine, and it took me probably a year every time I'd go to the game to break it. Now I've broken it. So I've got this routine where, because I'm taking my kids anyway, we'll take our own food, buy some drinks from the shop on the way, and I don't feel the need to do it.
Yeah.
But then it was so powerful, I could not go to a game.
It's the habit, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the habit.
And like alcohol in moderation is fine. It's just
when you're overindulging, you're binging.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do because it just loosens them up and it makes them feel a bit more confident.
And it's a way of relaxing, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's this whole thing around trying to stay healthy so you can live a long time. And it can benefit you now as well. Like some of the health insurances that you put in place, I can't remember which one it is, but you wear the Apple Watch, and if you do exercise or you do steps,
Vitality one, yeah.
Yeah, you get discount on all your...
Get rewards and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
with Bupa. I pay £300 a month. I don't get any of that.
No coffees.
No, nothing. No free gym membership, nothing. But it is really important. Like, obviously you haven't put insurances in place because of medical stuff. You've done it because someone you trust pointed out the financial risk, and then it's gone on. Okay, cool. So what does your routine look like now? You're playing football, but you're moving from professional to semi-professional?
Yeah, so I've just I've left Solihull Moors and signed for Hensford Town.
Okay.
Which is a step 3 team.
Where is that from here? So we're filming this in my dining room come podcast studio in Solihull.
Yeah.
Which is the Midlands. Whereabouts is Hensford?
So Hensford, I don't know if it comes under Staffordshire, but it's
okay, not too far.
Cannock, Walsall. So it takes me about 50 minutes to an hour to get to, depending on that M5, M6, is it?
Yeah.
Which can be a nightmare if you catch that wrong. Then could take
not
about 3 days.
Andy, our mate, going up to Blackburn 3
not
hours.
Not that bad. No.
3 hours back.
Every day as well. That is.
yeah.
But yeah, I signed for them on, what are we on now? Thursday. Signed for them Monday.
Congrats.
They've got an exciting project going on. They've just been promoted. new chairman in place, and he's relaying the pitch. He's signing league players, and he's having a go because he wants to go back to back and get in the football league, within 5 years.
Nice. Have they got under 10s?
Have they got under 10s? What, for your boys?
Yeah.
I think they have, to be fair.
Sign them up as well.
But yeah, they seem like great people that run the club, and it's a really exciting project that I'm happy to be a part of.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because some people are, doing a sport. I went boxing this morning, and I was talking about my cousin, who was pretty much the best middleweight boxer in Canada in his time, amateur. But because he didn't want to turn pro, and because Canada didn't pick him for the Olympics, which they picked some like all-white Canadian guy who he'd beaten before, so on and so forth, he just turned his back on it and then never boxed again, refuses to box now, which is a real shame. And sometimes you get footballers, I mean, different scenario, I guess, but get to 30, 31, they know they're not playing at their pinnacle and they can't accept that, so they just stop playing. Yeah. If I had the ability to play football, I'd want to transition back down through the leagues and still play, because you're playing for enjoyment, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm still committed as ever. I love football. I love the social aspect of it. I love the competing side of it as well. So I was nowhere near ready to come out of it altogether. And this Hensford proposition come about, and it fits me quite well, as now I'm doing the insurance and the mortgages.
It gives you more time to do that as a transition.
100%. But
what do you think you've taken from your football career into protection now, and when you're doing it full time? Like, what are the things that football's taught you that are making you successsul? Because we're not going to talk about numbers on the podcast. I never talk about people's income, but you're doing well already, and you're only doing it, not that much through the week. When you go full time, protection will be a really good income for you.
Yeah.
So you must have approached it in a way, taking some of the things from football to have that sort of success. What do you think those are?
I'd say consistency. Just be true to yourself and just try and do the right thing.
Yeah.
I think naturally people pick up on that. And if you are doing the right thing more often than not, then things are going to go your way. So yeah, I try and pride myself on being a good person, being polite.
Not being pushy to sell
not
people,
being pushy.
Just advisory.
Yeah, advisory. And if you can suggest stuff to people, if they don't want to do it or whatever, that's on them. You're not accountable for other people, so you can only do the best you can to advise and see what's best for them. But yeah, that's what I would say.
And I guess that does apply in anything, isn't it? I always say to my kids, commitment, consistency, and confidence.
Yeah.
And if you go into anything with that, you will achieve anything.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself.
No matter have a set, focused goal, right?
Yeah.
And I guess this is something that you've started. It may be the thing that you do full time after football, or it may form a component of it if you discover something else, right?
Yeah, definitely. Who knows? For the time being, I'm happy as a protection advisor.
Yeah. Sounds like you're in the SAS or something like that.
Do I?
Yeah. Protection advisor.
Could be a new job. But yeah, no, it's good, and I'm enjoying every minute.
Happy days. So do you think, this is a question for you, do you think that people who don't have dependents need protection?
Yes.
Why?
Because they'll have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they can't go to work, how will they get any
money?
Yeah.
So all these people that are doing it, I guess what they'd say, maybe they might say is, oh, I just squirrel away a bit of money on the side. Why is that less efficient than having a protection policy in place?
Well, because you're going to be diving into your savings, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which no one likes doing. And for the sake, you can get an income protection policy from 15, 20 quid a month. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You insure your phones, you insure your car.
Yeah.
For the sake of
it's a mindset thing, isn't it? Do you think it's just because people don't want to face up to the fact that the reason you're doing it is if something bad happens to you?
Yeah, and I think no one likes being sold to today. And I think there's a lot of advisors out there at the moment that are not doing it for the 100% right reason.
Totally different style to you. Like you're calm.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I know though that people need something, so I will be a bit more forceful because I know they need it.
Yeah.
Like people say Tony Robbins is a really hardcore salesperson and they hate him for it and so on and so forth, because if you go to one event, he straight away starts selling you onto the next event.
Yeah.
But 80% of that event will be good content, 20% is pure sales.
Is it?
But he doesn't need the money of you going from UPW to Business Mastery to Business Mastery 2 to Wealth Mastery to all these things. He's doing it because he genuinely believes that if you go on the next event, it will help you. And the next event, it will help. Yeah. So sometimes you have to be a bit more forceful, but not to the point where you've got people cold calling you, selling you. I think what you do is called advisory selling. And maybe you do that naturally. I don't think you've studied the theory of advisory selling, right?
No, I've not.
So you do it naturally, right? Which is help someone identify if they've got a gap or an issue or a problem, explain that you have a solution, and then leave it on the table.
The way I get most of my clients is through people I know, word of mouth, referrals. I would never cold call anyone because they're annoying, and I'll get them all the time from Vodafone, Carphone, Warehouse. As soon as they say where they're from, it's because no one likes to be sold to.
Yeah. And is that something you encourage by having a referral scheme? Like, do you pay out commission on referrals, or do you?
I can do. I do. Sometimes I offer that, and it's organic that way as well, isn't it? So obviously it's my business. Without referrals, I'm not going to have a business.
So the way that it works with you is True Life give you the platform, training, support, so on and so forth. But ultimately, it's your business. You bring it in.
Down to me,
yeah. And that's kind of, I guess, like how financial advisors operate. They'll have like SJP or someone underneath them, giving them the platform, the framework, the softwares, access to the, all that stuff. Because they've got economies of scale and registered with the relevant authorities and so forth. But each advisor is almost like their own business.
Yeah, 100%. And I've got, I've actually now got 8 advisors who I've recruited beneath me, so I'm responsible for them as well. So
you left that part out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So if they sell, do you get a piece of what they?
I'll get a percentage of their commission.
Yeah, brilliant.
But I've got some really good advisors in my team. Yeah, doing really well.
And you can support and mentor them.
Yeah, that's what I do.
How did you bring them on?
Again, people that I played with. I always look out for people in similar situations to myself, i.e., players maybe coming to the end of their career.
Yeah,
older players, like-minded business people, and stuff like that. But yeah, I've got a good team now.
And do you actively go out? Are you getting enough referrals when you go full-time on this to hit your growth goals? Or would you actively go out and try and network with accountants, lawyers, people? I mean, accountants are obviously your ideal, really, because they're the ones who are the most trusted advisor to their clients.
Yeah. So that's the stage I'm at now, where I'm trying to network. I'm going to networking events.
Yeah, get content out like this.
Yeah, 100%. Football agents as well.
Yeah.
There's loads of people out there. Even the barbers that we go to.
Yeah.
I've left some business cards there. Told Kai, Max, and the boys if anyone needs anything, any construction workers, and I'll give you a cut of that.
Yeah. I think it's amazing. Like I went to Dubai 6 months ago and decided to commit to going out there for a week every month without knowing what was going to happen. And it's almost like I'm starting my business again from scratch. But every time I go out, I talk about what growth I had to do. I introduce our referral scheme and I make new contacts. And when I get back, even I'm off the plane and I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 introductions on WhatsApp already.
It's good, isn't it?
Now I'm getting probably 5 to 15 introductions a week, because the environment out there is everyone wants to help everyone.
Yeah.
I've done that and gone to Dubai because the mindset in the UK, it may be, like I heard it this morning on the radio that the economy in the UK now is growing. I mean, I think they make the figures up, to be fair. I don't think the economy is growing. But if people's perception of the economy is growing, it may become easier over here. Yeah. Can you sell income protection to people outside the UK?
No.
Okay. No. Because they have different laws everywhere, right?
So I had a friend who was actually living in Dubai, and he still had his properties over here, but because he was living out there, I was unable to do that until he came back.
Does it exist out there in Dubai, income protection?
Yeah, I think insurances would exist out there.
Yeah.
I think it might have to be done by companies over there. We're not able to provide insurances.
Yeah. I mean, the UK is more than a big enough market, and there are more than enough people that don't have this in place that need to, that you can tap that out first and do something else in Dubai. But I'm always thinking, like, what is the opportunity out there? Because it's a massively growing market, right? And sometimes you just go. I've got I don't know if you know the guy that owns the cafe, takeaway restaurant, Caribbean one, just around the corner from New Era. Marjay's.
Yeah, I've met him.
He's our client now, and he's out there looking for location to expand, to take that to Dubai, because there's no other.
Everyone's going out there now.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
just to form your business, but out there. And I think around financial products and wealth and protection and all that stuff, it's just harder. But SJP have gone out there. They're a financial advisory firm. So I guess it's just you go out there and you try and work it out. But if you're at the growth stage, like we spoke about off camera in your business, and you're not up to that key figure yet, why go out to a different market?
Levels,
just use it as a place to be on holiday.
Definitely.
And just keep tapping out what you've got over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that is the best way to grow. One of the things that I'm sure you're doing anyway, but I found really useful, is creating like a Google sheet with a tab on for each referral partner and tracking all the referrals to and from, or a CRM system would be better, but I don't understand software because I'm too stupid, so I use a Google sheet.
Like that. Technophobe.
Yeah. And then what I do though is I take every single referral partner and add them to a list and send them an email every 2 weeks just to stay in touch with them.
Okay.
Remind them about recent case studies, have awards for people who've sent the most referrals, so on and so forth. And that's a really nice way of keeping in touch with people that refer to you.
Yeah, that's good.
That has been really good. We only started that recently, and it just reminds referral partners that may forget about you and you may forget to contact them.
Yeah.
Imagine every person you meet and put a business card in, or wherever you get their email. Now put them in a CRM. Now once a week, email them all with something useful.
Yeah.
And now you're constantly on their radar.
That's a very good idea.
I wish someone had told me to do that 10 years ago, because my business would, I reckon, if I knew everything I knew now and went back 14 years, I reckon my business would be turning over 25, 30 mil now, probably.
Really?
Because I was stupid. Like,
so
stupid.
Part of the journey though, isn't it? You always make mistakes in that, and I think it's always, if you know that, like what you know now, then
exactly.
You'd be flying. But
for me, in what you're doing, because you're not going to add in, like, you're going to do content like this and start putting it out on your LinkedIn. We spoke about helping you to tidy up your LinkedIn profile a little bit, but you're going to get all your business through referrals. So if you do that, and there's a couple of books actually I'll show you before you go in my office around referral marketing and just being on top of it. If you get a little mini CRM and send an email every week, I think that, and also what you can do is set it to, I don't know how it works, but you can set it to send an email and then also send a WhatsApp or a text with the summarized version.
What platform do you use?
We use Go High Level.
Okay.
And it's cheap and fully customizable as well. And the support is unbelievable. So yeah, I'd recommend that. Just going back a little bit, because I'm interested and my kids play football and all of that stuff. So I've always got the insight, and it's not necessarily related to business, but it's understanding your journey. When did you start playing football, and when did you get scouted for an academy?
I think I was about 7 when I started playing proper.
Okay.
Always played Sunday league. Dad would never let me go to an academy because he knew how cutthroat it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got maybe offered, but he said no.
I could have gone down a few times, but then I ended up playing for district and then county.
Okay.
And then when I got to the age of 15, there was clubs there that I could have gone to. My dad said, "Oh, you can choose." I think it was pretty much every London club.
Yeah.
I chose West Ham.
Yeah.
Really? I thought I'd have half a chance as opposed to Arsenal, Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I went down there, 6-week trial, and then at the end of it, they said, "There's nothing here for you." But they had a really good academy at the time. It was like Freddie Sears, Jack Collison, Junior Stanislas. So there was some big boys there, and ended up going to a college. And while I was trialling for this college called Barking Abbey, the guy that was leading it knew Dan Ashworth. You might have heard of him.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's just left Man United as CEO or whatever.
Yeah.
He was at West Brom as academy director, and he recommended me to go up and play a game. Played a game against Stoke at 15, and then I was getting ready to go to college, and then all of a sudden they've offered me a 2-year deal. Nice. So I had to pack my bags and move to Birmingham, which my mum weren't too happy about. My dad couldn't wait to get rid of me. But
so your family are from London, right? Where in London were you?
I was born in South London, grew up in Essex.
Where in... Oh, you're born in South London?
Born in Croydon.
Okay, yeah. I lived in Stockwell for about 5 years.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but grew up in Essex.
That's why you're so well maintained.
Is that why? It's just been barbers, that's why. But yeah, moved up for 2 years, a 2-year scholar, 2-year pro. Never quite made the grade at West Brom, got on the bench for the first team in the Championship once, and then Ended up playing League One, League Two, and then most recently National League with Solihull.
You played for Solihull Moors, Walsall, right? What other teams have you played for?
Played for Tranmere, Notts County, Newport County as well. So yeah, played over 400 games in the league.
Do you think for you it was natural ability, or were you on it all the time, training every day as a kid?
Yeah, I was different to my mates. I would say I always had a ball, and I was more driven, and I had a bit of a winner's mentality.
Yeah,
like I was a bad loser when I was younger, and I've got better. I've mellowed out as I've got older.
Yeah,
but I used to be a nightmare.
Do you think that carries through to work now, in that you want to be successful?
Yeah,
you're not going to let anything be a failure, and you approach things differently with that mindset.
100%.
You're going to do whatever it takes, right?
It's a bad trait, but I'm never content. I always want more. Always want to do better.
Yeah.
Not happy with resting on my laurels. So I think that's transpired.
But that is the trait of a lot of entrepreneurs, which is why the most successful entrepreneurs are like on the spectrum somewhere, and they can't sit still, and they're constantly beating themselves up. Yeah, and you have to balance it out a bit. And maybe you're not so good at other things like relationships and empathy and all these other things because you're so focused.
Yeah, 100%. Like 1 o'clock in the morning, my mind's racing. What can I do tomorrow? What can I do with this? And that's when I get all my ideas and things that I want to take into business and stuff. How I can better myself.
And that, yeah, but it's rare in football, isn't it? You see people like, say, Tyrone Mings, got 2 or 3 businesses, different things on the go. Obviously an intelligent person. I'm not saying football's not intelligent, but a lot more of them will just focus on the game and then think about what's next after. But I think the smart ones have something they're developing in the background as well, just in case it makes sense.
I think that's become a lot more common now with players getting ready for the transition, setting up whether it's property investments, stocks and shares. Like I've got friends that play in the Premiership who are doing the same now. But
the education now is good. Like you go into the academies.
It's good.
In Birmingham for Birmingham City, they get the teachers from the Priory, I believe.
Do they?
One of the top private schools in Birmingham.
Yeah, it's good.
Teaches the kids who are scholars or in the academy, so they're getting the top education.
Even the PFA provide support systems and education programs where you can sign up for courses, any course you want.
Yeah,
you can find one. It could be barbering, and they'll you pay for it. You complete the course, and they'll give you about half of your money.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So whether it could be anything, building.
Do you have the mindset? Like my mindset is, I don't understand people who are moaning, who think that the world owes them something. I'm constantly saying to my kids, look, I get that there's someone there and he's asking for money and so on and so forth, but if I was him, I wouldn't be sat there asking for money. I'd be getting up. I'd take the little money that I've got. I'd go and get a bucket and sponge or whatever, start cleaning people's windscreens. Then I've got enough to do cars. Then I do this. Then I do that. I would never just say, oh, what am I going to do? Yeah, I'm with you on that one. You got to be accountable for yourself. Yeah, I think you can't feel sorry for yourself at any time. And you just got to crack on, ain't you? Can't feel sorry for yourself. Hard work pays off. Yeah, 100%. But do you always do that, or do you pat yourself on the back sometimes? Like when you're with your kids, are you just with your kids, or are you thinking about work? Like sometimes with me, like right now, I was saying this on the podcast yesterday, I've been quite good this year, but I'm in a period at the moment where, I'm having dinner with the kids, family dinner, and I'm going back in the office because I'm so busy. And like on the weekend, I'm working for 2 or 3 hours on Saturday and Sunday now. And I don't want to get, that needs to go. So I'm just making sure it's consistent, and then I'll hire people to do the things I'm doing. But it's a tough balance. Yeah, I think I'm guilty of that at times as well. I've got slightly better, but that's what we do it for. I think we do it for our kids, don't we? To give them the lifestyle. Do they want that financial freedom, or do they want your time? Again, it's so hard. Balance. It's hard to have the balance. It's also not quantity of time, is it? It's quality. Yeah, but we were saying before, weren't we? Like you was running your boys' team. Yeah, and that's a lot. With running a business as well, it's a lot of work, isn't it, for any parent? Yeah, I was doing Monday to Friday business, Saturday MJPL. For those that don't know, that's like Junior Premier League, really good standard. Like I reckon the top MJPL teams could give the academy boys a run. Would they? Really give them a run. Not because individually they're technically better, but they operate like a team. Whereas a lot of the academies, technically they'd be better, man for man. But individuals. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't play like a team.
Yeah.
They won't go up one side of the pitch. If you're not into football, just bear with me for 1 minute. They won't go up one side of the pitch, see there's pressure, and then play around. They'll keep trying to break through so they can have that moment to shine.
Yeah.
And you can beat them that way because you know what they're going to do. But yeah, so I was doing a Saturday team and a Sunday team, and it did become too much. That's where data really helped me, because I can see from my Whoop and look at the week that I'm into stress 7 days a week. At the side of a football match once, I got my heart rate up to 180 coaching kids. This is not right.
Yeah, it's no good.
It's like a interval VO2 max workout coaching kids, yeah? And like, I'm passionate though. Now I'm picking teams for my kids. It's really difficult because I'm judging the coaches. You know, like,
you've done it.
Yeah. And I back myself to be better than every team I've taken them to so far. When I go somewhere and I think they're better than me, that'll be the team for them.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like big-headed and up myself. I just, like you said, I've done everything for the last 3 years to be the best coach that I can be. Done the UEFA C qualification.
Yeah.
Well, I've only done up to C, but that's fine for 10-year-olds. Constantly studying. I used to do half a day on a Friday just on the kids' football team, thinking about different patterns of play, different training exercises, And that's why they were so good. But then also you're pushing all the time. You know, then you try and stop work and go and have a family dinner where you're present and switch off, and you can't switch off.
It's impossible, isn't it?
Impossible to switch off, yeah. Unless you've switched off like an hour before.
Yeah.
And then maybe gone and had a haircut or gone and had a massage. Sometimes I'll go and have a massage in the afternoon in order to then be present for the weekend. I'll do that then like on a Friday afternoon or something.
It's a fine line. Even sometimes I can't switch off. Then I'm getting a massage, but I'm getting my hamstrings done, but I'm on my phone doing emails and it's easily done, but it is what it is. I think I've got a lot better anyway.
And now, how is it? Like, you've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
Are they your like main driving force? Are you trying to create financial freedom for them, or do you believe
100%.
like they should
100%
earn all the money, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to educate them the right way. I'm trying to give them a little insight to business and how things work in terms of properties.
Yeah.
So my youngest,
do they play football?
They play football. Yeah, they play for a team down by Redditch.
Okay.
But yeah, I try and teach them little things. So Ezra, my youngest, who's 7, is going to be 8 in June. He wanted to start a business, so I went to Halford's, got all the car wash stuff. So he's gone down knocking on the neighbours' doors. The cars were dirtier than when he started, like, but
he's learning.
He's trying. Yeah, he's trying.
That's amazing.
And I try and reward them as well for doing good and doing the right things. It's like they can wash my car or they can do the dishes or something like that.
Yeah.
And they've got their own little bank accounts on Revolut, because you can have kids' accounts, can't you? So they've all got a bank.
Teach them about money. Teach them the skills that they're not getting in school.
I think that's important, because the schools don't teach what they should be, really, should they?
No, they're just basically creating robots that can sit within corporations that are happy to be told what to do. And your kids won't be like that. So they won't sit in corporations. So they need to work out what they're going to do, whether it's football and then transition, or it's entrepreneurialism, or it's partner with a firm that has a background, can give you the platform like you have, but basically run your own business. But they're not going to be sat in an office taking orders off someone, are they?
No way. Like, I haven't got all the answers, but what knowledge I do have, I try and implement and let them have as well, just so they got a little understanding of how things work.
And when you see that, like my littler one, Jackson, is like a sponge. So he'll repeat stuff back to my wife as if he's come up with this idea, but it's something I've said
the
to
credit.
him.
Yeah. She's like, where you got that from?
Yeah, that sounds quite familiar. But he will, full confidence, give it to her as advice. That's a unique thought from his brain.
He's taking all the credit.
Does it regularly, yeah. Okay, so that's kind of how you come through football, come up to the Midlands. Are you staying here now, or would you go back to London? Like, what's your...
Yeah,
do you like it?
I like the Midlands. Yeah, it's got everything I need. I've created a life for myself up here now. Yeah. After football, my kids are based here, so yeah, I'm stuck here for another 10 years at least.
It's nice, and I think, like we said, your business is here and you're growing and you're doing really well and getting a good reputation. And maybe in 10 years' time, when the kids are older and they're gone, maybe the UK is better, so you are staying in the long term. Maybe it's the same as it is now, and maybe you go to like warmer climates and do something there, right?
Be nice to have the option. So that's what I'm building up to, especially with the buy-to-lets and the investments. So if I do want to
so get them to the point where it's making enough money that you could be location independent.
Yeah, definitely.
Could you do your deals if you lived in Dubai then with UK clients? Just do it remotely? Do you have to meet them in person?
Can do it over Zoom, but we can't submit any policies or applications while being abroad. But I can do all the fact find out about them. Then I can come back to the UK and then do it that way.
So if you wanted to leave, you could do that, or you could partner with someone else in the firm.
Yeah, who could
you bring everything in and they take a little bit for doing the submission.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like the idea of being location independent, being like a nomadic entrepreneur. But the education system is so good in this country, state school or private school, that I think most people, including myself, will keep the kids here till they're 16 and they know what they want to do and then go from there. Yeah. I think education system in the Middle East is good, but it's still got a bit of a way to catch up.
Yeah.
I think like you pick the best schools and they're equivalent to good private schools here, but the best private schools here are better than the ones there. And it's uncertainty, isn't it? Like my kids now, they get picked for the hockey team, rugby team, cricket team, football team, so on, based on their ability. If you go over there, is it going to be based on, you know, the billionaire that's donating X amount to the school or so on and so forth? It's not going to be all sunshine and giggles. There are going to be other problems that you're going to encounter over there. The reason I looked at it as a place to move is tax. And I don't like the idea of when my kids are 16, 17, them starting to go out in Birmingham. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. I want them to grow up here. So like on a Sunday, someone's trying to punch them in the face if they're playing football. I like that. I'm not going on the pitch to help them. I put them in boxing for the last year for that reason. I want them to learn to defend themselves, right? Obviously, if they're getting the shit kicked out of them, I'll go on and help them, right? But it's quite funny. We took them on this football tour 18 months ago, I think it was. And they had this football pitch, like Brazil style, all sand. And because we'd arrived late, 90% of this is a PGL like tour thing. PGL's like these big camps that they have. You can do all the activities on the one day and they have a big football tournament on the other day. And there was this team that had turned up and they'd taken like 90% of the slots, and we'd gone with Bartley Reds, they were called, like a team out of near Northfield, around there. Like the ends kind of Birmingham.
It's not far from me.
And proper like boys. One of the kids turned up with his man bag and a load of cash. Mobile phone, sunglasses. What's that?
Harold?
9 and 10. And then Jackson was 8 at the time, so he'd gone, but he was playing. Good player, plays a year up. Anyway, they wanted to play, and football to me, it should be inclusive. So these little kids have come and said to these 14-year-olds, can we play? And they've gone, no. So they've gone, okay, well, we're going to go on the pitch and play anyway. Every time they've gone on the pitch, they've kicked their ball over into this lake where you can't get it. And there's a load of balls, so they go get another ball, keeps happening. So I said to my son, listen, if they do that again, go up and have a go at him. Like, this is what I teach you to do. Stand up for yourself. And then in the end, anyway, he's gone up and had a go at one of them. This 14-year-old's come over and pushed him. His teammate, my son's teammate, has walked up to the 14-year-old and slapped him around the face. And then it's all kicked off. So these 14-year-olds are rolling around the floor fighting with these 9 and 10-year-olds. My 8-year-old's gone up and pelted a football into this kid's face. Caleb's punched someone in the face. And I'm just stood there like a proud dad going, here we go. And in the end, they pretty much won. And they're 9 and 10 because these kids are from this posh private school in, I can't remember the name of it, but it's this sort of commuter belt outskirt outside of London. All the houses are like 2 mil plus, so on and so forth. And so they're like little posh boys. And these kids from Northfield Town have come and just beaten them up. Yeah. And I didn't tell Kieran, and it was their first experience of it. And then one of them let it slip a few months ago. Do you remember when we got in that big fight and Caleb punched someone in the face? She's like, what? Why didn't you tell me about that? But these are the things that I want them to do to a certain extent. I want them tough. Whereas I think if you take your kids now at 11 to Dubai, and they're going to be soft as shit by the time they're 16.
Yeah, if they was to come back over here.
Yeah, and then try and survive over here. So it's very difficult. Parenting is very difficult, and being an entrepreneur is very difficult. Like, what is the best thing for them? Put them in safety or put them out of safety, so long as nothing bad happens or it doesn't go too far.
Fine line again, isn't it?
I think it's just something. So we've taken the step of, I go out there for a week every month. We've got the residency visa, got all that stuff. If something happens over here that's really bad and it starts getting worse, then we'll leave. But for now, you keep them in the school, you keep them in the education. And do your kids go to school together but in different years?
Yeah, they're all in year 6, year 5 and year 3.
Yeah.
I think. Get in trouble if I got that wrong. But
I don't know what year my kids are in, so don't worry about it.
I just made that up. Yeah.
What are your goals? In 10 years' time, obviously the kids are semi-adult.
Yeah.
Your youngest one is...
He'll be 18 in 10 years' time.
Yeah, so in 10 years' time, your kids... I mean, you want to be someone that your kids... You're their hero, right? You're their role model.
Yeah,
you want to be a good person.
Yeah.
Like, where do you want to be in 10 years? You're not playing ball anymore, so what does a business look like? What are you up to?
Yeah, obviously just what I'm doing, just scaled up with the insurance, have a bigger team, have more properties, and just the freedom to do all the stuff that, obviously the kids will be older, but I'll have grandkids and stuff like that, just have not as much pressure.
Yeah, so have time to be able to do the things you want to do.
I think financial freedom is the goal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Saying that, I said I'm never content. I'll probably work till the day I die and always want more. So I think once you get to a certain level, it gets a little bit easier as well, does it? Does it?
I found that I lost motivation because I thought I'd made it. So I went and bought golf clubs, worked 3 days a week, and then the business started leveling off and almost going down a little bit. And I thought, you know what? I'm not enjoying this life either. I like working. So I think it gets easier because you've got a team, so you don't have to work.
Yeah.
So then if you want to go to Ibiza for like 5 days and chill out, you can go and you don't have to do any work. That's where it gets easier. Whereas now, if you don't do the work and get the deals in, the revenue goes down.
Yeah.
Whereas once you have that team operating at full capacity and you've got maybe an executive assistant booking in all the stuff for you for the following week, so you're not having to do any of that admin, you've got a bit more freedom.
Yeah.
I find it difficult just to remind yourself to like spend... I don't have any mates, basically, because it's easy. Oh, can you be my friend?
Yeah, I'm your friend.
Yes. I mean, I do have some, because I've met them in the gym or 1 or 2 or whatever. But it's a conscious effort that I have to make to go and spend time with friends. Because when I was coming up for the first 10 years of my business, I spent time with family. That's easy to remember to spend time with them. You live together. But my external family who don't live with me and my friends, that would just go by the wayside because I'd either be working in the gym or with my family.
I think it naturally does though, doesn't it?
So that's what you got to remember. Like, do you remind yourself, okay, let's go on a lad's holiday once a year, or let's play golf, or let's do this, or let's do that?
I'll always do a lad's holiday because I think that's really important. I'll always do a family holiday as well because again, that's important. But yeah, like obviously being from down south, like my 3 best friends who I grew up with, went to school with, they've all got, well, 2 have got their own recruitment businesses. The other one's a broker, the one who was out in Dubai. Yeah. And I've not seen them probably for over a year. Yeah. But like we still speak all the time, but it's quite a commitment because they work full time as well, to spend the weekend and do something. Yeah. Because that's the time that we'd all have with our families or...
That's the thing, is it's difficult. Like my wife's still in touch with her friends that she went to school with. And maybe every day there's some sort of WhatsApp message going. And I try and work it out, like, how are you on top of this? But to her, it's just natural. Whereas I've let those the kids that I loved when I was at school, I haven't spoken to for like 10 years. Just because that's what the risk is. You get so into your own routine and with work that you let those messages get further and further apart, and you let those relationships go.
And it's hard, like in football, the amount of people you come across and you play with, you can't keep in touch with everyone. No. Obviously, you have them on socials, and I think that's a good way, because I've been off socials before. That's a good way when people are doing stories and posts that remind you of them and to check in.
Yeah, it is actually, especially if you take your Instagram and make it some of your stories like friends only and stuff like that.
100%. I think that's important, because that keeps you in contact. But like I say, everyone's got responsibilities, everyone's got work, so it is hard. And I think everyone understands that as well.
Yeah.
But you do, like you say, you do have to make an effort.
And have some people in your circle, if you're not as good at it, who are good at it.
Yeah.
And don't hold it against you because they know you're busy and bring you into it sometime. Then that's
people do that. People get upset, don't they, if you don't speak to them or you don't reply or stuff like that. But I think the majority, well, my friends anyway, they understand, and I understand
because they're running their own businesses, right?
Yeah.
If you're not running your own business, I don't think you'll ever understand.
Yeah, no, they won't.
Because you're working, and when you're working in a job, typically you know what you're doing. So a lot of the time when you're working, in inverted commas, you're on WhatsApp to your mates, or you're planning the weekend, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. When you're working for yourself, you're not sat there planning the weekend, you're working. Yeah. It's amazing to see how much work would actually get done by an employee at a certain level versus a business owner.
Yeah, be interesting.
I reckon 5 to 10 times as much work per week. All right, cool. So actually, just 2 quick questions and then we'll wrap up, because I want to make it short, sharp, actionable, but also I want you to come back on in time when you've gone in and transition full time, which will be really interesting, and how you've dealt with that. On the days when you're not playing and you're working, what's your routine look like?
So I have my kids every Wednesday, Thursday, after school, drop them to school, pick them up. But say Monday, Tuesday, now it's the off season, I'll try and get to the gym early, do a swim, do core. I don't really do weights, but I'll do like body weights, so pull-ups, dips, press-ups.
You don't do weights at all?
Nah, no weights.
Nothing? Is that conscious?
I'm slow enough as it is. I won't be able to move if I do weights. But yeah, I'll do something like that in the gym, and then usually I'll work from the David Lloyd or meet up with colleagues from True Life. Yeah. And network really. I always have stuff to do, admin, policies, insurance policies for my own portfolio of houses. I've got a tenant moving into one of mine tomorrow and I need to sort. So there's always stuff to do, but it's nice working at your own leisure when you're
in a nice environment.
Exactly.
How do you prioritize what you're going to do each day or through the week? Do you have a planner? Do you have a to-do list, a process?
So I've got a diary and I diary plan. So I'll put from as little as like wake up and do this, have a face bowl or whatever, breakfast, be to the gym for 9 o'clock.
What's a face bowl?
Have you not seen the guys on Instagram when they're dunking their head in the ice bowl?
I think, I did see that.
He's getting a bit carried away now, but I took that one anyway.
Okay.
Just wakes me up in the morning. But yeah, I like to diary plan. That way you do your most important things of the day and prioritise them.
And do you write goals in that diary so that you make sure your actions are taking you closer to your goals? Or are those in your head?
I have my goals on my notes on my phone, and I like to reflect on them. So I'll do them every January. Yeah. And then it's interesting. I've set a reminder to see how far
that's cool.
I've come.
Which is interesting. Which ones you've ticked off.
So one popped up the other day, funnily enough, from 2017. So I had a number of how many buy-to-lets I wanted by the time I'm 35. I'm going to be 35 in August, and I've surpassed that. So it's good to look back. I don't always meet them. By the way, in terms of money that I've earned through the insurance throughout the year. I didn't meet it last year, but it's good to reflect and see where you can improve and then put stuff together and in place.
100%.
Where you can.
I think it's really important to do that. And I love that you've got like a nice simple system that anyone could pick up. You can get a plain diary. What my mentor did is he put all his goals in for work, all his goals in at the front for personal, then put things he wants to start doing, stop doing and continue doing. And then just has his actions list in the day. And then all he'll do is reflect on his goals with a quick review first before he writes his actions. And then usually your actions will be different because you're picking them subconsciously that relate to the goals, right?
And it's good to have not just work goals and financial goals, but family goals, well-being goals. So like yoga once a week or stuff like that, or take the kids out and do something. I think people don't value them, but they forget about them. They just think everything's financial work-wise.
I do that for sure. And I used to be in a really good process actually of setting the goal. I've got this planner actually. I'll show you, productivity planner. Quarterly you can set goals. It doesn't have anywhere for your yearly goals, but I have a business plan, 1-page business plan that's separate for the yearly goals. The quarterly goals, and it splits them up into 3 main personal, 3 main business.
That's good.
And then what I do is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm working on my 3 project 1, project 2, project 3 business goals. Monday's more of an admin, team, content review. Friday's more planning. but then I'll drop the personal stuff in, and I made it into like a little Google sheet. So even that, because I can't do that naturally, so it forces me on a Friday to say, like, were you a good dad this week? Were you a good husband? Have you done anything for Kieran? Have you planned the weekend out? Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So if I get back to that and I review it every day, I am who I want to be. But when I deviate from that and just have a paper and a pen for a to-do list, I'll do exactly what you said. Work.
It's easy to go off track, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you write down what does your ideal week look like, even in a Google sheet or on like a diary, and then refer back to the ideal week. You know, sometimes on a Friday in your ideal week, it might say like, ring my parents. Then it just reminds you every Friday, ring my parents. Yeah. Otherwise, you could go 6 months without ringing your parents.
My mum wouldn't let me. It's about 4 times a day.
Yeah, see, that's good. What would be, I always like to ask this just to wrap up, for anyone that is either in sport or in entrepreneurialism right at the start, and maybe it's a bit of a side hustle like you or transition, what would be your 3 keys to success that you would leave with people who are watching or listening?
I'd say always keep learning. Don't think you've cracked it and you're at a level now and you can just rest on your laurels and be comfortable.
I got that from you when we first met. Not that you were asking me questions, but you were just asking, what do you do? You had like an openness to you. Yeah. Not like some people are closed. They do what they do and they're not interested in what you do, or can I learn from you? You seem to have an openness. Like, if I'm talking, is there anything that you can take that would be useful?
Yeah,
or a learning point?
I always want to ask questions. I always want to find out more, especially from successful people. And because there's levels as you're making your way, like even the young lads at football, I'd always give them my knowledge, or because they'll have no knowledge on properties or finance or business. And just even if it's little snippets, they can take that and they've got a little understanding then. But yeah, I'd say that. I'd say always be accountable. Okay. Like we spoke about before.
Yeah.
You can't go around feeling sorry for yourself, blaming other people and feeling like the world owes you a favour. And hard work, I'd say. I think you get what you deserve in life.
100%. I keep like wanting to have hard work pays off tattooed on myself just to remind myself. But I think it might be a bit corny. So I got this random, which I'm going to end up having this removed so that I can get a sleeve. But we were in Thailand and I was like, I want to get a proper Thai boxing tattoo. So I got a tiger in Thailand by a Thai tattoo art. I think it might be a bit midlife crisisy, but I want to get like a full sleeve. You've got tattoos, haven't you?
I've got 2 sleeves, chest and a back piece, yeah.
Do you regret any of it?
No, I've got a little one on my calf. I got a bit giddy with
what you were going to say then.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have got the one on my calf, but yes, yeah.
What is it?
Oh, it's a long story. I don't know if it's...
We'll do that on the next episode.
On the next episode, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you wanted to touch on that we haven't spoken about? To me, it's been brilliant because I know at the start it's very educational, informative, but I think it was nice to do that in this order this time and then reverse back and go through your journey.
I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. I'd love to have you on again. I learned a lot and I'll definitely be getting in touch with you for my protection because I'm sure it's out of date and I'm sure it's not fit for purpose now. So we can talk about that after. If people want to get in touch with you for any help around protection, business owners, sports people, athletes, individual freelancers or construction industry people, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
I'm on socials. I'm on LinkedIn, which we're going to tidy up.
Yep.
Joss Labadie on LinkedIn, Joss Labadie on Instagram. Our company website is truelifefinancial.co.uk. So yeah, if you reach out to any of them, we'd be happy to help.
I'll put all of that, guys, into the show notes or the audio notes. And the initial consultation, do people have to pay for that, or is that something they can access for free?
No, that's for free. Yeah, even if it's just a general catch up or review. There's no charge on that.
Happy days. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. That's been another episode of Founder Stories, and we'll see you in the next one.